Welcome to our channel. Lots of summaries of interesting films. Keep it updated. Press subscribe and turn on notifications. To support us, you can like and share our videos. Enjoy watching.
The Duke of Oxford, Orlando, visits General Kitchener and his aide Morton in a camp in South Africa in 1902 with the help of his wife Emily, son Conrad, and bodyguard Shola. Orlando and Kitchener are discussing their business when a sniper starts shooting at the camp's soldiers. Before Shola can track down the assassin and execute him, Emily is wounded in the abdomen while running to defend Conrad. Conrad rushes to his mother as Emily passes away, while Orlando waits by her side. Orlando and Conrad return to their estate 12 years later. Conrad practices fighting with Shola as Orlando converses with Polly Watkins, the babysitter. After that, Orlando drives Conrad to the Kingsman tailor shop where he occasionally does business. Grigory Rasputin, the Mad Monk, arrives at a hidden location to join a number of other evil dictators, including Gavrilo Princip, Eric Jan Hanessen, Mata Hari, and Alfred Dupont. Their boss, a covert Scottish bad guy known only as the Shepherd, greets them. He divides up the group into various circles, each bearing an animal emblem. The Shepherd exhibits his brutality by murdering one of Rasputin's prized goats when he hears him whine about getting a tortoise and wanting to switch with Princip. Princip is then dispatched to perform his first duty. Along with Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie, they ride through a procession with Conrad's father. Conrad uses an umbrella to deflect a bomb that Princip threw at the Archduke's escort car in an effort to kill him. The explosive then hits the automobile behind them. They try to navigate to safety. Princip is planning to take his own life by hiding a cyanide pill in his engagement ring and sits near a cafe when he notices the Archduke's automobile driving in the opposite direction. Princip takes advantage of the situation and shoots Ferdinand and Sophie, killing them both before being apprehended. Orlando worried about the consequences because he thinks European powers will clash. He tells Conrad about three cousins who are currently the monarchs of England, Germany, and Russia, respectively: King George V, Kaiser Wilhelm II, and Tsar Nicholas II. Orlando has always been loyal to King George, despite the three of them being at odds. Rasputin is close to Nicholas and his family, whereas Hanessen advises Wilhelm. Soon after, World War I begins, wreaking havoc on Europe for more than 2 years. While the Shepherd rejoices in his group's triumph, he also aims to have Russia leave the conflict so that Germany may focus its efforts on England, which the Shepherd deems responsible for persecuting Scotland. By giving their son Alexei a sweet that has been poisoned and then using his alleged heavenly powers to cure the child, Rasputin manipulates Nicholas and his wife in order to persuade them to keep Russia out of the war. Conrad wants to fight in the war, but Orlando won't let him put himself in risk. This is where Kitchener and Orlando part ways. Later, as a neighboring submarine fires a missile at Kitchener's ship, destroying it and killing everyone on board, Kitchener sobs on his ship for the countless lives lost. Orlando afterwards receives a letter that Kitchener penned just before passing away, regretting their final meeting. After that, Orlando takes Conrad to see Polly and Shola in their covert base of operations where they decide to take matters into their own hands. He claims that while visiting Princip in jail, he fought off two guards who were about to hang him in order to acquire information from Princip. Rasputin is aware of the criminal's network, and they intend to assassinate him before his influence makes things worse by focusing on him. Orlando also informs Conrad that while being a superb assassin, he believes that murdering consumes too much of one's soul. The group goes to Russia with the intention of luring Rasputin into eating a poisoned Bakewell tart due to the Mad Monk's liking for sweet pastries by using Conrad as bait. Rasputin invites Orlando and Conrad to a meal, but finds Conrad uninteresting and shows more of an interest in Orlando. He invites Orlando inside and makes the claim that he can mend Orlando's broken leg. Rasputin carries out a strange ceremony in which he licks Orlando's leg wound before shoving half of the cake into his mouth. Rasputin, though, throws up the cake, before admitting he knew the cake was laced with cyanide since he consumes poison every morning to build an immunity to it. He leads Orlando outdoors to the icy lake to plunge his leg in. Conrad and Shola get in before he can drown Orlando. Rasputin is fought by the two before Orlando awakens. Before Rasputin can kill Shola, Conrad fires a shot that causes the blade to fall out of his grasp. However, Rasputin then turns to kill Conrad. Rasputin is stabbed in the chest by Orlando, who then carries him to the lake and drowns him. Rasputin gets up to make one more killing attempt, but Polly kills him by shooting him in the head. The team returns home on the train and celebrates Conrad's birthday. While he wants to continue the fight and head into battle, Orlando refuses to let his son get into it. Later, when Mexico is attempting to convince Germany to team up with them in an attack on the United States, Polly intercepts a telegram from Wilhelm's secretary to Mexico. President Woodrow Wilson is contacted and made aware of this. But until he has hard data, he dismisses it and declines to get involved in the conflict. Conrad assumes Archie Reed's position on the front lines as Archie Reed switches places with Conrad. Conrad fights alongside other British and Scottish troops opposed to the German force. A bomb disables a British army informant who is running in their direction. The general orders the troops to find the informant's body on the battlefield at night and retrieve whatever items he was carrying. Conrad joins 5 other guys later that evening in a covert confrontation with the Germans. They stab one another, with the British soldier shooting the giant German who was about to kill them with a hammer, which caused both sides to begin fire and drop bombs. Running for cover, Conrad meets the informant who has just had a limb blown off. Conrad breaks down in tears as he has now killed people and did not even get to say goodbye to his father. The informant comforts him. Conrad transports the informant across the battlefield in the morning. The British army opens fire on the Germans as soon as they discover them. An bomb blows Conrad and the informant into the barracks, where the informant is killed. Conrad delivers the object that the informant was carrying, but after telling the general that he is Archie, a soldier who claims to be Archie's comrade calls Conrad out on lying and suspects him of being a German spy, leading to Conrad's death by headshot. Orlando learns of his son's passing. Shola and Polly attend the funeral and express their sorrow for Conrad. Orlando develops a severe despair and starts drinking while avoiding Polly's assistance. Orlando, though, resolves to work with Polly and Shola to complete the assignment in Conrad's memory after conversing with King George. It turned out that the object Conrad took from the informant was written documentation for the telegram that Wilhelm's secretary had sent. Before discovering that Wilson received the telegram, Hanussen and Hari arrive and discover the Shepherd fighting with another team member. The Shepherd assassinates the opposing party and dispatches Hari to America to subjugate Wilson. Nicholas abdicates the throne in the meanwhile. When Orlando arrives in the country, he discovers that Hari has already arrived at Wilson and met with the ambassador. Hari tries to assault Orlando because he knows she is a villain, but Orlando subdues her and uses her scarf to choke her. When he next sees the ambassador, he finds out that Hari had Wilson recorded being seduced, with the video being used as extortion to keep the United States out of the war. Before deciding how to strike, Orlando, Polly, and Shola investigate the villain's lair. While Shola leaves for his own post and Orlando prepares to parachute down from a plane, Polly keeps watch with her rifle. When the plane's controls become stuck, the aircraft starts to scuttle toward the ground. Orlando succeeds in opening his parachute, but he becomes impaled midair at the base of a precipice. The shepherd's goat nearly knocks Orlando down as he attempts to climb up using knives, but Orlando grabs hold of the animal's horn and hauls himself up. He then pets the goat to demonstrate his good intentions. In an effort to get Wilson to resign so they may pick up the next president, the shepherd sends DuPont to attempt and blackmail him. When the thuggish henchman stops the elevator to battle Orlando, who has entered the barn, DuPont becomes caught on the elevator as it descends. While Polly fires at the other thugs, Orlando engages the brute in combat. After killing a few guys, Shola jumps onto the counterweight and cuts the rope to help him pull himself up, sending DuPont plummeting to his death. Before rescuing Orlando, Shola rises and chops off the brute's head. They then proceed to the shepherd's location to confront him. When Orlando convinces him to go, it is revealed that the shepherd was actually Morton the entire time. He had fired the missile that killed Kitchener and had been working against him the entire time. Shola takes the hit for Orlando in the fight between Orlando and Morton. The two then engage in combat close to the cliff's edge. with Morton coming dangerously close to murdering Orlando before the goat's horn impales Morton's leg. As the villain thinks Orlando lacks the confidence to drop Morton, Orlando stands up and holds him over the edge, only to be disproven a short while later, sending Morton tumbling onto a pile of rocks. In order for the president to start the war and burn the video of Hari seducing Wilson, Orlando has it given to him. As a result, World War I is later over. He speaks to King George, who informs him about the deaths of his cousins Nicholas and Wilhelm, while Wilhelm resigns from his position. Orlando then gathers with Shola, Polly, King George, Archie, and the ambassador at the tailor shop, which he just purchased to set up as an undercover organization. Continuing to honor Conrad's memory, Orlando gives the team code names based on the Knights of the Round Table, which is something Conrad thought of as a kid. Orlando will be Arthur, Polly will be Galahad, Archie is Lancelot, the ambassador is Bedivere, George is Percival, and Shola is Merlin. Thus, the Kingsman Agency is born.